Do you have to be like a burly Poirot to uncover the mysteries?
Yeah. Marple with an axe and a big blonde plait.
Ava, there you are!
Hello and welcome to Rock, Paper, Shotgun and my favourite thing in ... This is where I, Colm Ahern, chat to one of the lovely RPS staffers about a spang new video game they've been playing and get them to tell me about their favourite thing in it. In some cases they'll have to think long and hard about their choice because the game they've been playing mightn't have been all that great, while other better games will give them multiple things to pick. Deputy Editor Alice Bell has been playing the 22nd entry in Ubisoft's juggernaut of a series, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So I've asked her to chat to me about the one aspect of the game she enjoys more than anything else. So Alice, what is your favourite thing in Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
My favourite thing about Assassin's Creed Valhalla is probably that it trusts you and doesn't hold your hand as much as previous games in the series.
Trust? Okay, how does it trust you exactly?
Well, this has been... I think the series has gradually been embracing. I think it's been experimenting with it in Odyssey and Origins. But it doesn't lead you around by the nose as much with quest markers and things. It doesn't sort of tell you exactly what you have to do next in a lot of cases. And it lets you kind of explore and find things and pay attention to things and stumble on things in a more kind of natural, exploratory way. Although I should say it has separate difficulty settings for combat and stealth and also exploration. So if you're one of those people that likes having quest markers and stuff everywhere, you can fiddle with that a little bit.
So how does this play out in the game? Will you just be given a general area and you must play detective?
Well, a little bit. So if you're going to meet someone, it'll say they're in this town, and then when you turn up at the town, the marker will disappear and you have to sort of go look for them. You use your raven and the raven will give you a general area that they're in. The raven is the replacement for the eagle. You've got a raven mate this time, which is quite funny because instead of doing like a cool eagle noise when you do a leap of faith or sink somewhere, you get a raven noise. So it goes like, ah, which is quite good. But there are some good examples. Now they're not all this good, but early on, one of the things you have to do to get the support, the alliance of a local area leader is one of her 3 best mates is a traitor. So you have to figure out who the traitor is. You go on little missions with each of the 3 to sort of hang out with them and sort of, find out what they're like. But you can also go and chat to locals in the town to sort of find out if they saw anything suspicious. And then some of them did, and they'll say like, oh yeah, I saw this thing, a ship wasn't where it's supposed to be on the night in question. It was a bit further down the river away from the other ships. Or, oh, yeah, I saw some, this person go. And you don't get quest markers for any of that. It is off your bat to remember what people told you and then go and explore and follow up on that stuff. And it doesn't give you any, you just have to remember, okay, well, they said that this ship was sort of a bit further east down the riverbank, so I'll go look in that direction, see if I find anything.
Do you have to be like a burly Poirot to uncover the mysteries?
Yeah. Marple with an axe and a big blonde plait.
But is that the case with all of the major missions in the game, or does this...
I mean, they're not all that good. They're not all blinders. You see it in other things as well. So, for example, the game won't tell you all the time you have to do this bit stealthily or you have to do this bit, aggressively. It does. You can't avoid a fight in some instances, but at other places it'll just be like, here is a town do with that information what you will. And then you can choose to try and sort of steal everything and get all the loot and stuff by stealth, or you can just turn it into a raid and attack everything and burn everything down. And that's kind of up to you. Or there are some things like, I don't want to spoil it too much because it's quite fun. There's a side mission that involves killing these 3 kind of witches, and you can stumble across one of them first and be like, oh, bloody hell, she was a bit weird, wasn't she? And just get in a big fight with this woman. Or you can sort of find their backstory first and then sort of know who they are and where they're hanging out beforehand. So there's some open-ended stuff in there in a way that there just sort of wasn't in Assassin's Creed games before. It basically trusts you to not be an idiot in a lot of cases, which is good. It's refreshing.
Did you ever find that it trusted you a little bit too much, or did you welcome the open-endedness of it all the time?
Well, I would say that probably if you're one of those people that will play a game for a bit, stop, and then come back to it in about 3 or 4 weeks, you might struggle because it doesn't. A lot of these side quests don't turn up in your journal, for want of a better word, either. You do sort of have to remember what's going on a bit. But then again, you can, if you wanted to, you can just whack the difficulty settings so that you're getting more quest markers and stuff. So there is some leeway there.
So this is the Assassin's Creed game for the person who really wants to mold their protagonist, become the assassin they want to be.
I wouldn't say that exactly. I mean, first of all, because technically you're not an assassin, I suppose.
Fair, yep.
Like Cassandra in Odyssey, you're technically not an assassin. You're just a big Viking. Not that there isn't any crossover into the established storyline, obviously, but also because it's not so open-ended in terms of leveling your character in the combat, because I think you would still have to put quite a bit into melee combat, because the idea is that you can level towards ranged, stealth, or melee.
Mm-hmm.
But just in every area, you are going to have a punch up at some point, just because the main plot will funnel you into sort of boss fights, at least 1 or 2 per area. But for a lot of the rest of it, it is very open-ended in how you can explore, and the sort of the way you explore and interact with the world. Like with that example I gave, you can spend ages tracking down clues and following a trail of blood or paint splotches or whatever, or you can just kind of skip all that and make your best guess kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that will maybe things might turn out differently because you did that, and I think that's fun and the game is better for it.
Well, thanks very much for chatting with me today, Alice. And if you, dear viewer, would like to check out Alice's full thoughts on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, be sure to have a read of her written review of the game on rockpapershotgun.com. Thanks very much for watching, you absolute star. We hope to see you again soon as we learn more about people's favourite things in video games. But remember, for all of your PC gaming needs, keep it on rockpapershotgun.com.